A tornado tears into Kentucky. Hundreds of homes are destroyed, but thousands of lives are spared. Criminal convictions for President Clinton's former partners in Whitewater. Israelis vote for a prime minister and a direction in the Middle East peace process. And newly discovered film of President John F. Kennedy on that fateful day in Dallas. This is the CBS Morning News for Wednesday, May 29th. Good morning, I'm Troy Roberts. Jane has a day off. A curfew is ending this morning in Bullitt County, Kentucky. It follows a night spent in a state of emergency. Tornadoes struck an area south of Louisville, cutting a 7-mile path of destruction and wrecking hundreds of homes. But with all the damage, no one was reported killed. Don Ward of CBS affiliate WLKY is in Kentucky this morning. Good morning, Don. There must be many stories of survival.
Good morning, Troy. There are indeed probably as many stories as there are homes like this one. It's just devastated. There are some 200 houses in all that are damaged in this part of Bullitt County alone. National Guard troops have now been called in to help prevent looting and presumably in the morning to move debris like this that was tossed about so effortlessly by the storm. A lot of folks who live here had to spend the night in shelters. Some others didn't want to leave their homes. By night, storm victims go back to their homes to save what they can. In many cases, there isn't much. Police patrol the area to prevent looting. This is how it started.
Look at this stuff flying.
The fury of a twister. The sirens blare and the debris flies as it roars through the Mount Washington area. Afterwards, a woman looks for her parents. Their home is one of those destroyed.
Which house is theirs?
Oh, this one.
Have you talked to him yet?
Yeah, I've been here and I went to get my son.
Is everybody okay?
Yeah.
The house is on a street where house after house is destroyed. No reports of any serious injuries. And as far as Missy Goucher is concerned, that's nothing less than miraculous. She and her son were home when the twister hit.
We jumped in the bathtub and put covers over us, and that was it. You could hear it going over though. Everything just started blowing, and
we just came in here and sat down in the bathtub and pulled the covers over our head with the dog, so the dog would be okay. And then we looked up, and this was gone when we looked up, and you could still see debris and all that stuff flipping around.
They were shaken but unharmed. Their home collapsed around them. But just next door, one wall still stands, with a symbol unmoved by the storm that leveled almost everything in its path. This house was in its path, so were hundreds of others, dozens of others just on this street alone. When morning comes in a couple of hours, those homeowners will be allowed back in here to get a better look at what the storm left behind, what they have left. You get the feeling looking around here, Troy, though it may be information at this point they simply don't want.
Don Ward in Mount Washington, Kentucky. Thank you. Good morning again, everyone. Tornadoes ripped a path of destruction across northern Kentucky. Hundreds of homes were destroyed or seriously damaged in the suburbs south of Louisville yesterday. At least 5 people were injured and power was knocked out to thousands. The twisters tore apart entire neighborhoods. The National Guard was called out and curfews ordered for storm-stricken areas. Don Ward of Louisville affiliate WLKY has more. It was a long, difficult night for residents here, wondering what they had left, saving what they could, and remembering the terror of the ferocious storm. One man caught the tornado on tape. His home was spared. Others weren't so lucky.
I mean, it's just unreal. You know, I mean, just total devastation.
Is there much you can save?
Not much, no.
This woman searched for her parents and eventually found them. They were okay. Their home, like so many others, was not. This is the rear side of many of those homes. As you can see, back walls are blown out, frames are cracked and splintered, and in many cases the roofs are gone. The ground here is littered with debris, and for every damaged home, there is a remarkable story of survival. Those stories are being retold today as the cleanup here begins, and it's difficult to guess when the cleanup will all end. Troy?
Don Ward in Mount Washington, Kentucky. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. About 600 homes are reported to have been destroyed or seriously damaged by tornadoes that plowed through the suburbs south of Louisville, Kentucky. The twisters touched down late yesterday, leaving thousands without power. At least 5 people were hurt, and there are late reports that at least a few of the injuries may be serious. Don Ward of Louisville affiliate WLKY has the latest.
By night, storm victims go back to their homes to save what they can. In many cases, there isn't much. This is how it started.
Look at this stuff flying.
The fury of a twister. The sirens blare and the debris flies as it roars through the Mount Washington area.
Okay? Is everybody okay? The rest of them be fixed.
I don't know where they are.
Are they inside?
The house is on a street where house after house is destroyed. No reports of any serious injuries. And as far as Missy Goucher is concerned, that's nothing less than miraculous. She and her son were home when the twister hit.
We jumped in the bathtub and put covers over us, and that was it. You could hear it going over though. Everything just started blowing, and
We just came in here and sat down in the bathtub and pulled the covers over our head with the dog, so the dog will be okay.
They were shaken but unharmed. Their home collapsed around them. But just next door, one wall still stands, with a symbol unmoved by the storm that leveled almost everything in its path. That path, as you can see, is a wide one. It's much more noticeable now by first light this morning. Those injuries were in another part of this county, but remarkably, in spite of all this damage in this subdivision of Mount Washington, no one here was badly hurt. Troy?
Don Ward in Mount Washington, Kentucky. Thank you.
Scores Vince Coleman, scores Eric Davis. That ties the game at 5. Still in the ninth. Bases loaded. The one thing you don't want to do here if you're the pitcher is walk the guy in, because that's just giving it away, and that, oh my goodness. He walked him on 4. Bruce Ruffin walks Thomas Howard. The go-ahead run comes across. What a way to lose a very exciting and tight game. 7-5 the final Reds. They score 6 times in that dramatic 9th inning and thus put an end to the Rockies' franchise record 7-game win streak. Hector Carrasco pitching 2 scoreless innings for the win. Jeff Brantley striking out the side in the 9th for his 11th save. Phils and Padres at the Murph. Bottom of first, Steve Finley at the plate. Mike Mims pitching. Finley, base knock, center field off of Mims. Mims, Bermuda Triangle. Next batter is Mark Newfield. Newfield. That is going to be a double off the wall in right field, but he's still not getting my Bud Light. Finley will come around to score, and the Phillies take the lead 3-1. That takes us to top of 7, 4-2. Mark Whitten. It's an 0-2 pitch, and he puts it right down the pike. You probably could do something better with an 0-2 pitch than that. It's a double. Mickey Morandini scores 5-2 Phillies. Bottom of 7 now. Ken Ryan called for the balk. Runners advance. Wally Joyner comes across and scores. That would be a very costly balk, because look at this. Jody Reed, ground ball to Mike Benjamin at shortstop. Could have been a double play. Instead, that run had already scored. Bottom of 8 now, 5-4. Finley at the plate again. Clear. That is deep and gone. 2-run shot right field. Finley's 5th hit of the game. Padres up 6-5. Then in the 9th, you bring on Trevor Hoffman, and that's what you bring him on to do. Strikes out Mike Lieberthal, and the Padres win it by a final of 7-5. Finley going 5 for 5. First time in his career he's done that. Ricky Henderson steals base number 10. San Diego wins despite stranding 10 runners through the first 6 frames.
Wednesday night, Boston found a way to slow down Seattle. In the 8th inning, the Mariners noticed a red beam of light aimed at the chest and forehead of Ken Griffey Jr. It was coming from a Fenway fan's keychain light. So 1 confiscation and ejection later, Seattle slowed but not stopped. They won 6-1. The M's have 10 or more hits in 9 of their last 10 games and 23 homers in their last 11. Series finale from the Fens. It would be an eventful evening for Roger Clemens. Top of the 2nd, facing the red-hot Jay Buhner. Gets him. Sox up 3-zip after 2. Top of the 4th, Rocket facing Ken Griffey Jr. See you later. Get out of town is 12th. And that cut the deficit to a run. So the Sox up 3-2. Bottom of the 6th, Rafael Carmona facing Troy O'Leary. And Troy hits it just about the same spot as Junior, maybe just a bit over further to the right. 2-run shot. He had 4 RBIs in the game. Sox at 5-4.